Hello and welcome to Safe Schools. I'm Curtis Graves.
I'm Andy Howard.
Andy, we have a great show today. We're going to be actually talking to Marlon Jones. He's the executive director of the 100 Black Men of Mobile, talking about a lot of the outstanding programs that they do in the community.
They do have some outstanding programs, and I look forward to talking about it.
We'll be right back.
It's a fact. Bullying happens. Bullying can lead to serious physical and emotional pain. But there are some things you can do to prevent or stop it. Stand up for the person who's being bullied. Let the bully know that it's not cool to pick on others. Take action by reporting the bully to a teacher or principal. In the end, when you help someone who's being bullied, you are also helping yourself.
Each month, more than 90 guns are reported stolen from unlocked vehicles, creating the potential of serious injury or death.
Lock it up.
Many violent acts and crimes are committed with stolen guns.
Lock it up.
According to ATF, stolen guns pose a substantial threat to public safety.
Lock it up.
Be responsible. Take time to record your handgun serial number and secure it from thieves. Lock it up.
Lock it up for me.
And we're back. Mr. Jones, welcome to the Safe Schools program.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you coming on and visiting with us and giving us a little bit of your time. So before we talk about what you do, I'd like to talk a little bit about who you are. Okay. So could you share with us a little bit about where you come from? Are you from Mobile? You're not.
No, I'm not. I was born and raised in Huntsville, Alabama. I studied my undergraduate work at University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And I actually taught school in Birmingham for a year, then Huntsville for a year, and then ended up moving to Raleigh, North Carolina, where I served as minister of music at a large megachurch there for 8 years. Wow. And did some seminary work, and then moved to Pittsburgh to serve as an associate pastor for a large congregation there, and then moved here to Mobile, Alabama to pastor Franklin Street, and then became the executive director of 100 Black Men at the same time.
Let's get a little relaxed for just a second here. Do I need to call you pastor?
No, sir. In this capacity, in this space here, on the secular world, Mr. is fine, or Marlon is fine.
Okay. Well, Marlon, you and I know one another, so, and again, I appreciate you coming out on the show because the 100 does outstanding work in our community for years. But before we kind of dive into some of the programs that we're currently doing, can you tell us a little bit about the origin of the 100? When did it start in Mobile?
It started in Mobile around 1991 when a couple of community leaders saw an urgent need to reinvest into the community based upon an international model that was embedded or started in 1963 in New York that became our national organization. So these leaders came together, had conversations, and instead of trying to do things individually and start recreate the wheel, they decided to become a part of the 100 globally to do the work and make a footprint here in Mobile.
Okay. So that said, the 100 is involved in a lot of things, in particular with our young folks. So could you share with us a little bit about that? So what kind of stuff you guys do?
Primarily, we have a partnership with the Mobile Public County School System, in which we do 2 programs currently. The Essential Skills Program, in which we teach soft skills, resume writing, job shadowing, and we mentor young people on the high school level at 4 high schools. And we also have a boat building program where students construct a boat from scratch, made of wood at middle school level. And we do that at 3 middle schools here in the city, in the area.
Marlon, what does the Essential Skills Program look like?
The Essential Skills Program looks like bringing students in and just giving them the skills that they need to be college and career ready. From learning how to write a resume, cover letter, sit down and have a conversation, prepare for an interview, how to relax and how to just know how to work in a professional environment or just to be a great productive citizen when they finish high school. We focus on a lot of mentoring, job shadowing opportunities. We've had young people go from anywhere from RSA Towers to even to USA Medical Center, just all over the county, shadowing professionals in careers that they would like to become professionals in. And then we also focus on college preparation with that. So some of the students, we work with ACT preparation, giving them, trying to give them a hand up to make sure that they're successful and able to graduate and able to become productive citizens and return to the community and invest as the 100 does.
And the 100 did this primarily because 100 as an organization saw a deficit in some communities, especially some of our African American communities. But the 100 doesn't solely just work with African American population. It works with a number of different people, but where we see the greatest need in some of the young people that we work with in some of our local schools, our goal again, and I say our because I'm a member as well, is to help instill some sense of hope and inspiration in young people and encourage them to achieve the highest things that they can achieve in their lives, because the sky's the limit. It's all determined on how much you want it. And I think that the programs that are being done are geared specifically for that, right?
Correct. And kind of piggyback on what you said, I believe going beyond the sky. There are no limits. And so teaching young people, I think the word is at risk, but I don't like to use that word. I like to use the word underserved, because if we don't work with folks that are underserved, we're all at risk.
That's right.
I think you like to talk about trauma a lot, Mr. Graves, but we're all at risk for some kind of traumatic experience if we don't focus on people that really need help. And that's what our job is, giving back to the community what the community has given to us. And so we're trying to give the community a return on investment that is given to all of us as individuals, as citizens, and now as working people.
A lot of our young folks are able, but they just need to be enabled. They need to know that they have the potential and the opportunity to achieve. And so I appreciate the idea of exposing them to skill sets that they aren't going to pick up on their own. Somebody's got to teach it to them. So, the soft skills that you talked about.
I think one of the things that we see more often than not is that the sense of sitting at a table like this table, the dinner table, is no longer the thing that we do.
Correct.
And those places are some of the places that have the greatest conversation and the greatest impact. And because we've taken away that table and that face-to-face conversation, our young people oftentimes go without getting the information that they need to motivate them along career paths or making critical decisions. So the 100 has created a table approach to talking to young people through programs by getting them to hear one another's thoughts about the future and how to get there.
Correct. I think one of our slogans is what they see is what they'll be. And as you mentioned, the dinner table no longer exists per se in many households or communities. As well as on my other side, as a pastor, church attendance has declined. And one of the things that we kind of teach, essential skills, are things that we learned in basic Sunday school back in the day, basic speaking skills, basic how to interact with different generations, different people from all walks of life. That used to take place in those particular communities, and now those communities have declined and decreased, and those opportunities are not there for young people.
But the need is
still there. And so to make sure that they have those opportunities, that's what we want to focus on.
Well, even in the digital dynamic of young folks, in the way they communicate and interact with each other, they don't sit down and talk to people.
Correct.
People don't sit down and talk to them. So that's a skill set. That's an ability that's got to develop and improve upon. So, the idea of sitting down at a table and answering questions and giving input and just talking to another person in a professional environment is a skill set that has to be taught by somebody. So.
Correct.
Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back to dive right back into this conversation.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Abby Dinkins. My children go to E.R. Dixon Elementary School. The education that my kids are getting, it's tremendous. There's one time that I thought about homeschooling my kids because I wasn't sure, we're new here. And when I enroll my children at the public school, and I'm just blown away because the teachers are nice, the curriculum itself is different. I believe in Mobile County public school education for preparing my children for life. I bought Smartboard, that's right.
Each month, more than 90 guns are reported stolen from unlocked vehicles, creating the potential of serious injury or death.
Lock it up.
Many violent acts and crimes are committed with stolen guns.
Lock it up.
According to ATF, stolen guns pose a substantial threat to public safety.
Lock it up.
Be responsible. Take time to record your handgun serial number and secure it from thieves. Lock it up.
Lock it up for me.
It's a fact. Bullying happens. Bullying can lead to serious physical and emotional pain. But there are some things you can do to prevent or stop it. Stand up for the person who's being bullied. Let the bully know that it's not cool to pick on others. Take action by reporting the bully to a teacher or principal. In the end, when you help someone who's being bullied, you are also helping yourself.
Mentoring the 100 way. You know, mentoring the 100 way is, from my perspective, is holistic. You know, it's not just giving someone one part of something, it's giving them a total sum of all things that help them be a whole person, and understanding the importance of not just academics, but also the social ability to interact, to apply that knowledge that they gain from school, and to also educate them on wellness, health and wellness. Can you expound on some of the things that are relative to that the 100 participates in?
Yes, currently we produce a monthly video series in regards to health and wellness about disparities that exist in our community from some of our medical doctors and medical professionals. We simply talk about the issues that affect our community, affect our students. One of the things is trauma, the violence that's in the community, and how that affects the total community. We talk about diabetes, cancer awareness. So that's how we do that in the health and wellness. We also look at the economic development aspect as we try to make sure our community understands, you know, the ability, banking, how the finances work, how credit ratings work, and also, especially this holiday season now, how not to spend too much for the holiday season. That gifts will go, you know, unopened or be unappreciated in 1 month's time, but yet you have a credit card bill that you're still trying to pay on, and the children have forgotten all about those toys. So we
The
focus
gift is
on.
broken, but the money's still owed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so we focused on those aspects. We also talk about leadership because whether you're the head of your household or a follower, you have to have good leadership skills. And so the part of that is part of the holistic picture. And of course, we go back to education, which seems to be our high point here in Mobile. As we were awarded the international, back in 2015, the International Chapter of the Year for Education, for our efforts in education, because we believe in economic development by sponsoring scholarships for students who really need to go on to further their education.
And that's a big deal because the 100 organization is an international organization,
Correct.
right? So to get that award is really saying a lot for the Mobile area and for this chapter of the 100. I don't want to find myself well, I can because I want to. I want to brag about what the 100 does.
Yes.
The 100 does a lot of great things in our community that so many people are completely unaware of.
Correct.
But so many people do. Whether it's our gala that we do yearly, where we award scholarships to students. But in understanding that, don't let the name 100 fool you, 100 black men. It is bigger than that. It's about understanding the different complexities that we have in our community and how we all have more in common than we do different.
Correct. Yes, Mr.
The thing that sticks out for me, and I know this is true for all of us sitting at this table, this privilege we had of having adults who could motivate us, could inspire us, could give us a model by which we could measure ourselves against. And what we were going to do is when we became adults, when we became men in the community, 100 Black Men represents a formalized not just happenstance scenario where you may or may not get that. Now you definitely had the opportunity to be exposed to people of substance who are trying to do something with their lives and want you to do something with your life, young folks. That's a noble thought, especially put it in a form of an organization and put it out there to make sure that it's not random, that more people get exposed to those opportunities for self-actualization. You know, I just thought about how I was, as a young person, those men who were in my life and who influenced me, not just my dad, but that circle of guys.
Right. Well, it takes a village, and that's what we try to be for the community, is try to be that village of not only of just presence, but representation and access. And that's what we had when we were growing up. It wasn't necessarily formalized, but outside of the household, there were fraternity members, church members, there were business members, and everybody took an investment in you as a person because it was a community responsibility. And that's what we do as 100. We take the responsibility, or shoulder the responsibility of making sure we make that community investment in people, making sure that we're producing those citizens that who are like us at the table, that positive, caring, and care about the community.
And there is an intentional approach to what the 100 does and the members of the 100, and the fact that the members come from all different aspects of life and career. Can you kind of expound on that a little bit?
Yes, if I can add one more aspect to it, cultures as well.
Yeah.
We have from attorneys, doctors, custodians, firemen, police officers, ministers, businessmen, bankers. We have a full gamut of professional men that are part of the organization. Although you said earlier, don't let the name fool you, 100 black men, we also have a diverse, when it comes to racial makeup, we have a diverse membership. And so that's one of the things that we pride ourselves on. It's not about the name, it's about who we are.
That's right.
And then when we look at the access, I mean, we have access from the national level, international level, to even here locally. There are gentlemen throughout the world who come to Mobile. Our national president, our national board comes to Mobile because we are considered to be one of the pillar chapters because of the makeup of our organization or our membership and the investment that we make as far as time into the community, especially into the school system, to help make sure that we're making that, like I said, return on investment into the community.
Well, the efforts are very intentional, and again, there's no product or result unless there's intentional effort to get there. Right. And that's one of the things that I'm proud of with the organization, being a member of it, and to see the effort that's put in place, because, when members of the 100 go into the schools, they're actually having to leave or find time in their schedule during their work schedule. Correct. Because they're working. These are working men with families, right. Understanding that the world is bigger than just their family. Right. And they're trying to affect the world by taking time out to instill values in young people who, some who don't, have that person who's there to encourage them.
Right. And also, the guys take time out on Saturday. We have a Saturday Academy in which we invest in some children who are not necessarily in our school programs from grades 5 to 12. And so we believe in just looking at the whole holistic person, and trying to start as young as we can as far as mentoring and giving them positive role models to look at. A lot of time, people in our community see the athletes or the rappers or the entertainers as the role models, but we have plenty of role models right here in your community, whether it is, the local minister, the local police officer, the local custodian, they're role models right around you. And it's not about making the millions of dollars, but it's about making the investment in each other's lives.
That's right. That's right. Great stuff. And we're going to take a quick commercial break before we wrap up.
Thank you.
Each month, more than 90 guns are reported stolen from unlocked vehicles, creating the potential of serious injury or death.
Lock it up.
Many violent acts and crimes are committed with stolen guns.
Lock it up.
According to ATF, stolen guns pose a substantial threat to public safety.
Lock it up.
Be responsible. Take time to record your handgun serial number and secure it from thieves. Lock it up.
Lock it up for me.
It's a fact. Bullying happens. Bullying can lead to serious physical and emotional pain. But there are some things you can do to prevent or stop it. Stand up for the person who's being bullied. Let the bully know that it's not cool to pick on others. Take action by reporting the bully to a teacher or principal. In the end, when you help someone who's being bullied, you are also helping yourself.
I believe my child's school is probably one of the best ones I could have picked in Mobile. She's in the PACE program. The teachers are phenomenal. The principal, couldn't ask for a better principal. The research that I had done myself, I believe the quality of education in Mobile County Public School System is excellent. For me and my child, I'm going to stick with the public school system. I think it's the way to go.
2, 1.
And we're back. You know, Marlon, we've been talking a lot about the 100 Black Man, but I'd like to talk about one guy.
Okay.
So, the guy you are today, is that the guy you thought when you were a kid? And how did you get from there to here? What did you think you were going to do?
Well, I went to study music education at the University of Alabama, thinking I was going to be the tour drummer or the tour keyboardist for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Okay.
That was my goal in my
But they
dream.
already had one, huh?
They already had one that had been there for years.
Yeah, he wasn't leaving.
So my backup plan was to, hopefully to be a high school band director, which came to pass, which is something I was still taking pride because of the investment I was able to make in those years. I was teaching and seeing the lives of those students transform, and they still communicate with me. So it means I must have done a pretty good job. So that was my career path. However, if you would have told me that I'd been in ministry or even serving in a CEO type position, I would have never have thought that. So I would told my younger self that you could do anything that you put your mind to, and if the door is open to you, go through it and give it your best shot.
So the CEO, minister, musician at 8. Is that what you conceived?
No, sir. No, sir. But my brother would tell you the minister part was probably there because I used to
He
line
knew
up.
it was there.
He knew it was there. He said I would line up the teddy bears and have church service by myself,
Okay, that's the secret.
So that was the secret there. But no, I would not have expected this. Like I said, if it wouldn't have been something in music, it would have definitely been probably law enforcement.
So that's one of the things, though, is a lot of times people see something in you that you don't see in yourself.
Correct.
And that somebody able to see it and then communicate it to you, impact you by recognizing for you, with you, what your potential is. That's one of the things, isn't it?
Correct. I believe we all, as humanity, if we could just see something better than everybody, the world would be a better place.
I agree.
And so going back to those mentors that I had, they always saw something more in me besides being a keyboard player or being lost in the system or being a statistic. When I was offered a full scholarship to Alabama State University, but they said you can go to the University of Alabama where the resources are there that you need to go to the next level. Not saying the resources weren't there at Alabama State,
Right.
but they saw a potential that I could make it through University of Alabama, especially when some of my ancestors could not have attended there.
Right.
And I could face the obstacles and make it through.
So people were taking limitations off of you that you were putting on yourself.
Correct. They were. I put a lot of limitations on myself because, one, as a high schooler, I try to fit in, just like most high schoolers do. And because of those limitations, you want to appear cool and not seem like you're as smart as you may be or should be.
Yeah.
And so those limitations were taken off by having mentors or people in my life that you said they saw something in me that I could not see in myself. They saw the diamond in the rough.
And we see that a lot too as mentors going into the schools, right? We see those facades that people put on to kind of camouflage who they actually are with some distance to some degree until they realize the sincerity and the efforts that are being made, and then they start to open up and then they start to accept and receive what the 100 is providing.
Correct. And I guess, a thought on that piece was a story we had maybe 2 years ago. There was a young man, and we had a program where we were able to give stipends to the participants. And he made a statement that still sticks to my heart. He said, you are the first person to ever keep a promise to me. And he was a 16-year-old male who throughout his life has broken promises, broken dreams, and broken aspirations, and nobody believed in him. But yet, because of a simple stipend, and that we said something in the beginning, and at the end we came through and fulfilled it, made a world of difference in his life.
And the sad thing about it all is that that was one voice, but he spoke for many.
Correct.
With that. And the impact that it still has on you today is evident of the importance of why you think it's important to go in and be intentional in the efforts that the 100 does in our schools.
Yes, it fuels our passion.
That's why you continue to do it.
Yes,
I know it has to be, because you can't want to do something that is impactful. It takes years, decades,
Yes.
to get a result
Yes.
when you start interacting with young folks. But it's that one conversation sometimes
Correct.
that makes all the difference in the world.
Yes, sir. It ignites that spark.
Yeah, and not only that, it not only affects them, but it changes generations to come. That one seed that you sow does a lot of great things later. So, you know,
If I'm a high schooler,
Yes, sir.
and y'all all over the place in the school district,
Correct.
how do I attach myself to the programs that you all have?
Well, if you're at one of the high schools, Williamson, Viger, LaFleur, or BC Rain, simply talk to your counselor or one of your school administrators to let them know that you want to be involved with the programs at the 100 Black Men. And if we're not at one of your high schools, you can reach out to our office by calling 405-5500 and asking about how can you become a part of our Saturday Academy. And we will make every effort or ability to make that happen.
So if it's not at your school, then Saturday Academy is available.
Correct.
For you to participate in and be engaged.
Right. And if that doesn't work, I'm quite sure there's a person on our wall or our membership that will be happy to interact one-on-one with your parents' permission and presence.
Okay. And so if a young person, even outside of Saturday school, 100 Black Men is everywhere in this community.
We help kids.
And
That's
that's
what we do.
well, I got to say this as we start to wrap up, that, you know, having you on the show is the first time, but I hope to have you come back many more times just to share some of the things that the 100 is doing in the community, because everyone doesn't know, and it's not where we can impact everyone, but one person matters.
Yes.
And that one person who is made aware of the efforts being made in the community by the 100 is one person that we need to reach out to. Correct. So thank you so much for coming out. And you know, do you have anything you want to share, Andy?
Well, the only thing that just strikes out at me is simply telling young folks you matter.
Yes.
And an organization is here to support letting you know that you matter.
Well, Marlon, thanks again. I really
Thank you.
appreciate you coming out. This has been Safe Schools.
Thank you.